In this video, we delve into a thought-provoking phenomenon that has caught the attention of global journalism, the Nordic Paradox. Despite Sweden's leading position in gender equality and women's achievements, it casts a shadow with a concerning issue: violence against women. Surprisingly, Sweden ranks first among the 28 European Union countries in the rate of women reporting violence against them. An astonishing 81% of women who responded to a 2014 EU survey reported experiencing some form of physical harassment since the age of 15, a significant gap from the EU average of 55%. Furthermore, Sweden reports the highest number of rape cases in the EU, with an alarming increase over the years, from 53 cases per 100,000 women in 2005, doubling the next highest, the UK, to 66.5 in 2012, according to a UN study. Over the last 25 years, reported assaults on women in Sweden have sharply increased, from 14,000 cases in 1990 to more than 29,000 in 2013, with over half of the assaults perpetrated by someone in a relationship with the victim. Every second woman in Sweden will experience violence from a man. These findings are particularly surprising given Sweden's low levels of general violence, ranked 11th out of 162 countries in the 2014 Global Peace Index, compared to the United States at 101st. Sweden, with its strong women's rights and status, should theoretically be one of the safest places for women. The alarming data were highlighted in a severe report by Amnesty International a decade ago, stating Sweden's failure to combat violence against women and assist victims effectively. The report cited several contributing factors to the worsening situation, including passive prosecution services, unclear data, male judges with outdated perceptions, and inadequate government action. This report sparked controversy, leading to a bold revelation by one of the country's prominent journalists, Maria Carlshamre, who confessed to being abused by her husband for over a decade. "We are not the world champions in women's equality," she stated in 2005 to the New York Times, calling it our generation's greatest human rights challenge, which must not be kept secret. Jonah, Lehrer, a journalist and blogger who writes about psychology, neuroscience, and the intersection between natural and human sciences, also addresses this issue, highlighting the Nordic countries as a model of gender equality by almost any measure. Yet this equality comes with a disturbing caveat. Nordic women suffer from intimate partner violence, IPV, at some of the highest rates. While the average lifetime prevalence of IPV against women in Europe is a staggering 22%, the numbers are even more severe in the Nordic countries. Denmark has the highest IPV rate in the EU at 32%, followed by Finland 30%, and Sweden 28%. Not just partner violence, but other forms of violence against women also show some of the highest rates in the EU within these countries. A new article in Social Sciences and Medicine by Enrique Gracia and Juan Merlo refers to the coexistence of gender equality and high rates of violence against women as the Nordic Paradox. This paradox challenges the intuitive link between gender equality and reduced IPV risk, often lower in poorer countries. For example, 71% of women in Ethiopia have suffered from IPV. Intuitively, in a country that disregards women's rights or does not treat women as equals, higher tolerance for harm against them seems logical. Yet this logic does not apply at the other end of the gender equality spectrum. As Gracia and Merlo point out, European countries with the lowest gender equality levels, such as Italy and Greece, report significantly lower IPV rates, about 30% less, compared to the Nordic nations. What explains this paradox? Why hasn't gender equality in the Nordic countries reduced violence against women? This tragic mystery is what Gracia and Merlo explore. One possibility is that the paradox is caused by reporting gaps, as women in Nordic countries may feel freer to report abuse. Intuitively, living in a country with higher gender equality likely reduces fear of possible repercussions for accusing a partner or reporting a sexual crime. However, Gracia and Merlo cast doubt on this explanation, noting that evidence suggests a lower level of IPV reporting among women in Nordic countries. Their primary hypothesis, still a hypothesis, suggests that high levels of gender equality might trigger a backlash effect among men, leading to higher levels of violence against women. As gender equality disrupts traditional gender norms, it may also reinforce victim-blaming attitudes, where violence is excused or justified. This backlash effect is exacerbated by women becoming more independent and competitive in gender-equal societies, increasing potential conflicts with partners clinging to dominance and perpetuating women's subordination. Progress leaves some behind, and these individuals tend to react with anger. And perhaps, just maybe, Western criteria for equality and advancement, or at least many of them, don't truly represent something real. Maybe the reduction of violence doesn't come through slogans, narratives, and formulas, but through a direct confrontation with the truth, something much more challenging, it seems.